Then the next thing you want to do is work on detoxing your body. And when you're doing your cleaning, you want to maybe specifically work on detoxing. And then after you detox, then the other thing that comes into play in spring with everything blooming is allergy. So once your body has kind of been detoxed, then you can start working on what might be some residual allergies that your body may still be kind of responding to. And then the last thing, everyone is encouraged by spring and they want to break out of the winter doldrums. So we'll talk a little bit about mental health. So if that sounds like a good launching board, then what we can do is maybe dive a little bit deeper into each one, not a whole lot, but a little one to give a little bit of a preview about each topic. What do you think?
I think it's wonderful. I don't know what do you think, Jovi?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's going to be great. Yeah.
All right.
And
Well,
it's touching each topic in there, especially with Dr. Philip.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. He always gives good, great information. Great information. So I'm ready. We all prepare for it.
Good
Again,
deal.
thank you for joining. I am on live with TikTok. So if you see me look up, that's what I'm doing, looking up at TikTok. And we also live on Facebook. I tried to get on live with Instagram. I don't know what's going on, but why Dr. Feeney, we're going to go ahead and fix that up, Dr. Zini, right?
Yes, we
I
are. Yeah, and I have to work on this green screen because my green hair doesn't look too good.
It looks good. It looks
It looks fun.
fabulous. Don't worry about it.
Or I'm getting ready for St. Patty's Day because in Chicago they dye everything green, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So we'll dive a little bit deeper into the four areas. So the first thing we talked about, we mentioned was kind of like spring cleaning for your body. So you want to kind of prepare your body. So um, you may want to change the air filters in your home because you've been going through the winter. Most people have forced air heat. So as a result, you want to make sure that the air filters are clean because you want to be breathing clean air or filtered air as best you can. Things that have the pollutants, the pollens taken out. So think about that, the air that you're breathing, and make sure that you have a good, clean air source. Then the next thing is you want to make sure that you have clean water. So now is a good time if you have a whole house water purification system, or maybe you have some individual water filters. You want to make sure that you change those so that this way you're getting, again, as clean of water as you can. Then the next thing is your food, right? You want to make sure that your food is good. And most people, again, during the winter months, unless you've been really working on a good food source, that's usually frozen vegetables or maybe they're kind of root vegetables. And so you want to kind of start looking for anything that is either homegrown or organic. Again, the cleanest you can, so that this way you can kind of detox your body. Then, of course, rest. And it may seem kind of counterintuitive because now the days are going to start getting longer. And because the days are getting longer, you may not think that you need as much rest as you do, but you still need good rest. So make sure you get into a good kind of sleep cycle so that this way your body will have the rejuvenation, kind of like the re energizing that you get with sleep. And believe it or not, good sleep helps out with brain health. And that's one of the latter subjects that we're going to talk about. So, what do you think about that before I move on to detoxing?
I have a question. Yeah, I
Go ahead.
definitely have a question. So you brought up breathe clean air, which is sometimes kind of hard. Breathe air, clean
Mhm.
water, and rest. There's such a big thing between drinking purified water and drinking spring water. What is the difference, and does it even matter which water that you're drinking?
So good point. I remember growing up in Chicago, and I forgot which park it was, but there was a park that had a well, and you could go and pump your own spring-fed well water. And the nice thing about well water is that it's rich in minerals, and your body needs minerals. So that's good. What may not be so good, especially now, and if you're getting your water from a kind of urban area, there may be contaminants in it. However, there are brands, and I'm not going to mention them, that advertise spring water. So as long as it is filtered, and if you look on the back of the bottle, it should say something like ultra filtration or reverse osmosis. Those are the highly rated filtration systems. So this way you can get bad chemicals out, things like pesticides or organic chemicals that can be in them. As long as you get those things out, then spring water, technically, because it has a little bit more minerals, that should be better for you.
Wow. I did not know that. And that's one of the biggest things. People go
Mhm.
buy purified, people go buy spring water. So now I know to go get me some spring water
Yeah,
instead. Yeah.
yeah. As long as it's purified and filtered, then it should be good.
What do you think about alkaline
It
water,
should be
Dr. Phillip?
So,
good question.
alcohol, yeah, that is a great question. And one of the reasons why I usually don't bring it up, Jolie, is because it's pretty expensive to buy the filter system, to get the filtration devices for it, and then plus it is somewhat like reverse osmosis in that there's a waste stream of water. So you might be wasting some water with it. So it's the old caveat, you know, you buy what you can afford. If you can afford alkaline water, you're going to be much better off because the body does better when it's in a more alkaline type of uh, an environment, if you will.
Mhm.
Um, the less acidic your body is, the better off you're going to be. Um,
Hmm.
which kind of dovetails into the food issue because there are some studies that show the more animal protein you eat, the more acidic your body could be. So that's why you're always trying to balance animal proteins with good plant proteins, and that means vegetables. So good point, Toby.
Very good point. Yeah, that's something to know because I drink alkaline water all the time, so maybe I should slow down on drinking it
No,
then.
no, yeah, I mean, if you can afford it, go for it. Um,
Okay.
yeah, it's not going to hurt you at all.
Okay.
It's good for you. Yeah, it's just most people can't afford
And
it.
then I know you want to move on, but one more question about water. I've been drinking more water and I've noticed a change in my skin. Does water have a lot to do with the skin?
It does. It does. If you think about it, your skin is the primary barrier between the outside world and your internal world. And again, coming out of winter, and that was one of the things I was going to get in with detoxing. One of the things that happens with winter is that most of us who live in northern climates or in climates that require periodic forced air heating, it dries out the air. So the air becomes very dry, less humid, and as a result, you lose moisture from your skin into the environment. It's called insensible perspiration or
Mm.
insensible loss. So in other words, it's not like when you're exercising and your skin gets wet or you perspire, it's insensible. In other words, the air is so dry that you don't even realize that you're losing moisture to the environment. So hence, that's why we advocate drinking a lot of water. And the typical, and I tried doing a research on this and I couldn't find a study that backed me up. But if you ask anyone, they'll say half your body weight in ounces of water a day is what you should be drinking. And I can't find a reference for it. It may be
I
an
hear
old
that.
article. Yeah, yeah.
That's a
Everybody
lot of
hears it.
water.
Not really.
No?
No. No. And another rule of thumb is that when you go to the bathroom, your urine should be relatively clear. The more yellow it is, unless you're taking a vitamin supplement with B vitamins in it, the more yellow it is, means that you're kind of concentrated and you're not drinking enough water. So, as long as you have good, healthy kidneys and a good, healthy heart, you really should be drinking at least half your body weight in ounces of water a day. And then when you exercise, you're supposed to drink a minimum of 10% more. If you're exercising heavier or strenuously, it could be even 20% more. So for most people, you can't go wrong with more water.
Okay. So we can't go wrong with more water.
Not really.
Yeah. Yeah,
Not,
it's kind of hard to do it. And which I am doing it, but I find myself at night drinking more water at night. When I get home from work, for some reason my body is so thirsty.
mhm.
I'm drinking water. I probably drink about 4 or 5 bottles of water before I go to bed. So now I'm up all night long trying to go to the bathroom.
So I'd be willing to bet, because of the type of work you do, you don't have the ability to drink water throughout the day.
No.
Yeah. So that's why your body is playing catch up when you get home. So
Okay.
if you can, get like a big sipper bottle or some type of big bottle and put it on your desk or your work area and try to get through that in the first half of your day. And then lunchtime, fill it up. And then the second half of your day, get through the second one. And that should easily get you anywhere from 16 to 32 ounces of water, hopefully more towards the 32 ounces of water,
More so. Yeah.
during the day.
Okay. Very
Yeah.
good. All right. I hate to disturb that. I know I broke up your little thing, but go
No,
ahead with
no,
your
it's all
next
good.
subject.
No, it's all good. In actuality, having this interaction is better because I'm sure if you're asking it, someone else is asking it or someone else is curious. So
Yes.
it's wonderful that you're asking those things. So then
Yes.
the next thing is once you've kind of worked out how you can get the good stuff in your body, you want to start kind of detoxifying or getting rid of some of the bad stuff from your body. So there are a variety of oral detoxing type things you can do. There are even some IV, intravenously detoxing things you can do. And some people even go to colonic therapy or doing colon detoxing. So, again, the whole idea is to try to get the whole GI system cleansed. So, you can ingest things, so you can drink things, you can eat things that help to kind of scrub the body. And there are certain supplements that you can take either orally or through an intravenous um, route that can help to clean out the liver. And then finally, as I mentioned, all of these things help with the GI system, which means the stomach, the upper intestinal tract, which is called the small bowel, or the large intestinal tract, which is called the large bowel. And then finally, there is colonic therapy that can be done to complete kind of the cleansing. And then there is a way of reseeding, and that means giving those areas of the body back good bacteria, because we want the body to have its normal flora. And
Right.
again, tying into some of the later things, we're finding out that there is a very tight connection between gut health and brain health. So the more good bacteria you have in your intestinal tract, the better your brain is. And it's kind of hard to fathom that, but there is research coming out to show all that. So again, the whole idea is to get rid of the old, put in some good new stuff, and then allow the body to slowly regenerate and to heal. And by doing that, it kind of resets by detoxing. You're kind of resetting the intestinal tract, the digestive system, and that will kind of complete the detoxing type of phase, if you will.
Okay. Now let me ask you something. Now, and I don't mean to be discussing, but you're used to it, so you didn't see some of everything. I'm sure. I am sure you have. But and again, you're right. Some of these questions that we have, that I have, and Joby have, and other people have. Somebody want to know. I want to know. Okay. So I just say it. When you go to the bathroom and you have a I know I click my own self off, but when you go to the bathroom and you have a bowel movement, I heard the other Dr. Phil, that's with Oprah, say that it's supposed to be shapely. C shape means it's healthy, or S shape means it's healthy. Is that true?
So
And
typically,
it comes with water, but he said you have to feed your body water to remove the waste out your body.
yeah, definitely. Again, it goes back to that clean water. So the more you hydrate yourself, the better off you're going to be, because what the large intestine does, predominantly the lower aspect of it, is to preserve water. So it's actually going to draw water in from the lower part of the colon. So if you're not drinking enough water, your stool is going to be harder, firmer, and even more difficult to eliminate. So that's where you hear people, the term is straining, or they may be quote unquote constipated. So that's where you're right. The more water you drink, if you flood the body, then the large intestine, the lower half, doesn't feel like it needs to conserve water because it has all the water the body needs.
Okay.
So, with that said, there is some thought that if your stool is formed but relatively loose, and what I mean by that, somewhat floats, then that's even better for you. And that usually means that you have a higher fiber content in your diet. So there's a whole science, it's called scatology, which is the studies of feces, the studies of the stuff you eliminate. So, in general, the high level is lots of water, so you're not straining. It also prevents hemorrhoids. And if it seems like it's a little bit loose but formed and somewhat floating or buoyant, then that's going to be better for you. And you're absolutely right, Alice. Most people won't ask that. So thank you for asking.
Of course. And again, I'm just going to keep going. So you said if it floats, that means you're kind of healthy, more so
You
than it sinks to the bottom.
So if it floats, that tends to mean that you're getting more fiber, and that your body may be exhibiting the signs of having more fiber. Not always, but in general, that's a pretty good sign.
Right. So the good sign, well, not a good sign, but it's a sign that being constipated means you're not having enough water, which you talked about earlier. You're not having enough liquids through your body. And that's not including coffee, because I guess we're not considering coffee, tea, soda, juice.
Well, I mean, it is fluid. The problem with caffeinated fluid is that it has what's called a minor diuretic effect, and that it it forces the kidneys to make you urinate. So that's gonna possibly dehydrate you a little bit. I don't think it's substantial, but the bigger issue with all those other beverages is that
Mm-hmm.
most people don't drink just plain black coffee or just plain tea, or there's no such thing as a plain soda. They all have some type of preservatives in them.
Yeah.
But there's additives that people will add, either a creamer or a sweetener, um, or if it's a canned beverage, it's going to have some type of preservative. And your body doesn't need to be preserved. We're not mummies, so the less preservatives, the better.
And I have one more question about liquids. So it's this thing that I've seen on Facebook and social media. I know you're getting tired of me, Dr. Phil.
No, no, I love it.
I'm getting into this now, right? Where are we? Or as humans, are we supposed to have milk, or we're not supposed to have milk? I don't drink milk. I drink almond milk. If it's milk, it's going to be almond milk for me.
Yeah. So, thanks to the agricultural community, um, everything begot milk. You might be too young to remember the Got Milk commercials, and the Milk Mustache commercials and all that
Oh well,
stuff.
thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. I probably wasn't even born then, but
So, um, humans are the only mammals that still drink milk after weaning. Every other mammalian species, um, cats, dogs, monkeys, um, when they're born, they are drinking mom's milk, but then they're weaned into whatever that animal kingdom's diet is. But humans are the only one that continue to drink milk, and that was because, I don't know, it was either Wisconsin or California said, we got all these cows, we got to do something with them. Oh, I know, let's have an ad campaign and say, got milk, because we have all these cows that are producing milk. We got to do something with it. So I don't really think we need the milk. And when we talk about allergies, we find out that quite a few humans have allergies to milk. Now, that could be more of an insensitivity. It's not like the classic nut allergy where you have a peanut and your face blows up, your throat closes off, you can't breathe, you choke to death and die. It's not that, but it's more like you're just insensitive to it. So you may have more gas, or you may feel bloated, or your skin may itch. There's subtle things that are more sensitivities as opposed to true allergies. And that's what we see predominantly with milk type products. And there are certain ethnic groups that have a higher ratio of that. And another aspect is called lactate intolerance. So, again, the human body wasn't really designed to drink cow's milk. Um, you can eat cheese, and the best tolerated milk byproduct, you will, is goat cheese, because that's derived from goat milk, and goat milk is thought to be the least kind of allergenic or sensitive to the human body.
I see. But Dr. Phil, isn't it true that I can't say it's true because I'm not a medical doctor, but the vitamin D comes from milk. So now, do we not need the vitamin D, or we do need the vitamin D?
So, in actuality, your body produces vitamin D. So, most milk or dairy products are fortified with vitamin D. And to be honest with you, in all the years I've been practicing medicine, I hate that term, practicing. Someday I'll get it right. But I've never seen someone have an optimal vitamin D level just by eating food. You always have to supplement. And I think part of that is the skin just can't process the sunlight that we're supposed to. Or people are so worried about skin cancer that they're slathering on all kinds of skin protectants, which they should do to protect themselves from skin cancer. And as a result, they're not producing enough vitamin D. So most people have to supplement with some type of vitamin D. I've not seen anyone be able to get it in naturally through sunlight or through foods and fortification.
Okay. And what type of supplements should we take if we're going to take something if we're not drinking the milk? What type of supplements we should take? I'm pretty sure CTFO has something that we should be able to take.
So CTFO has a multivitamin, but quite frankly, some people need more that's in a multivitamin.
Okay.
Some people need as much as 5 or 10,000 international units a day. And that's more. Well, it sounds like a lot, but it's kind of a small, well, I was going to say it's a small pill, but you don't like pills. So there's liquid drops you can take.
Okay.
So,
Dr. Phil, you know me so well.
But the bottom line is you need to take some type of supplementation. And
Okay.
You're right. Everyone needs some type of a baseline multivitamin.
Okay. We have went all off the subject that you were supposed to have been talking about tonight.
No, that's good. So what we can do next week is
Okay.
we can do an overview of the next two topics. We just started to get into allergy, so we can
Yes.
talk a little bit more about allergy and mental health next week.
Okay. And that's what we're going to listen. And for those who have been as you are listening to and watching the Living Well Ultimate Health Journey with Dr. Philip Zini III out of Las Vegas. And then, well, I keep saying Las Vegas. He's actually in Reno. Is that correct? Yeah.
I am
Reno.
in Reno. Thank you.
And I just say Las Vegas. I love Las Vegas. So he should be there. And we have Coach Jovi Marie with us. And then myself, I'm your host, the one that's asking all the questions that should probably be quiet a little bit so you can finish this whole speech. Okay. Listen, if you're on TikTok, if you have any questions for us, please go ahead and send them to info@piecesofalice.com. Dr. Philip will answer any question that you have. We'll try to keep him on track. That means Alice will need to be quiet. Okay. Right.
So, Alice, we do have someone that's asking a question.
Go ahead.
So, can edema and random coughing, along with running out of breath, be symptoms of congestive heart failure? That's what one of the audience is asking, Dr. Phillips.
So I heard eczema, shortness of breath, and what was the third one?
And random coughing, along with running out of breath, be symptoms of consecutive heart failure.
Okay, so running out of breath or being short of breath Um,
Oh,
and
it's edemia.
I'm sorry.
Edemia, they're saying.
Oh, edema. Okay, I'm
Mhm.
sorry. Yeah,
Sorry.
thank you. I thought you said eczema, so that one didn't fit, but you're right. So the hallmarks of congestive heart failure are edema, which means that your lower legs are swelling.
Mhm.
So that's one. Then the other is shortness of breath because the heart is working either too hard or is not effectively working. And the cough is because sometimes the lungs are filling up with fluid because the heart is overloaded. So it's a mechanical irritation where the body is trying to clear the water, but it really can't. So if you're experiencing those things, you should probably be seeking medical attention and possibly even calling 911. And I will pray for you.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Wow. Well, you just took the life out of me, Dr. Phil. Dang.
We're here to help anyone,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
just want to make sure that people are taking care of themselves. And unfortunately, in today's healthcare world, people don't know where to turn.
Mhm.
So sometimes they'll turn to anyone they can hear from because
Mm,
long lines at the ER, urgent cares won't see them, primary care, good luck trying to get in to see one. So
right.
I understand. I understand.
Well, and we're here every week so that Living Well, the Ultimate Health Journey. We are here every week on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Time. If you're not in Central Time, I can't help you with the rest, but try to figure it out. I believe it's 7 p.m. is 9 p.m. Wait, see, I don't know.
I can tell you.
Toby,
So
go
it's
ahead.
6 p.m. Pacific time, and it's 8 p.m. Central time, and then 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Very good. Very good.
Exactly.
So, and we're here every week and we answer your questions again. If you have questions, put them down in the chat. If you don't have questions and you just don't want anybody to see your business, that's fine. We'll keep it anonymous and just send it over to info at piecesofalice.com. As you can see, I'm going to ask all the questions about bowel movement and everything else. And he has not had enough of me yet, but he will. We're going to turn that face all red. All right. Listen, we're gonna have the final words from Jovi, then Dr. Phil, and then myself, and then we're gonna get out of here tonight, and we're gonna see you next week. Jovi.
So I'm Jovi Marie. I am a coach and also a co-author of Simple Recipes for a Diabetic Diet Plan. So just a little tip, like what Dr. Philip was saying, is about your intake of your foods. You always want to have the right combinations of foods into your diet, just so you know what you're consuming, the right nutritions that you are consuming into your body, and making the right healthy choices. One would be organic products all the time, grass fed. Grass fed is the main thing about meats that you want to always have as well. You're also wanting to have pasture raised eggs. So that's the one thing that you want to have. You want to consume the right foods so you get all the right nutrition. And Dr. Philip is always talking about the right supplements as well. You want the right supplements and also including walking. I started my journey with just walking in the beginning, and then increasing my running, and then different exercise. The HIIT exercises are a plus. Those are the main things that you want to do. But everyone's different. So I say baby steps is always the main key. So if you want to start, you want to start off going just with baby steps, and then we go from there. And Dr. Phillips is amazing. He's always here for us. He's always taking care of us, and you know, he's educating us. There's not a lot of people that want to take that extra step with the education, and I'm truly grateful for that.
Yes. I am too. Even though I'm hard headed, I am. All right, Dr. Phil, what's your final words? What are your final words?
Try to be as clean as you can. I know that's an overused term, but just conscientiously think about consuming things that are clean, pure, and I think you'll serve your body well.
And just to, you know, piggyback on what Jovi and Dr. Zini is talking about, just make sure that we do clean air, all right, as much as we can. And I know we live in the city, most of us live in the city, so we're not going to get that country air that's behind Dr. Philip Zini. But try as much as you can. Drink clean water. As you know, he says we can drink purified or spring water. Spring water is probably the best to drink. I believe that's what he said, right?
Mhm.
And get plenty of rest. Something that I am learning to do. You know, I work all day, so and then I come home. Of course, you see me here again live on social media at least 3 times a week. I don't get enough rest as I should. I don't get the 8 hours that they recommend, and we're going to tie Dr. Zini down and ask him about that too, about how important that sleep is. But if you want more information on any of the products that we may have discussed today and what is CTFO, please make your way over to what is the website? I forget myself. Wellbeing Path dot
That's
myctfo.com. All right. And we have plenty of products over there to help you lose weight, to help you with sleeping, to help your skin. They have a great scrub over there. You should really check that out. But we're gonna we'll be back next week, 8 p.m. Central Time, and all the other times that Jovi was talking about as well. Okay. All right. So find your fire, be true to who you are, and whatever you do, inspire along the way. That's what each of us on this show are trying to do for you. All right. Good night and see you next week.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.